let's talk about Hurricane Fiona. Now, for those of you who don't know, I mean, this is a serious subject. It's going to be the last serious subject we cover for today. Even though there is a 60 Minutes interview with President Brandon where he declared the pandemic to be over, I feel like we've done too much news today. Or maybe not enough news, but too much like news, drama, all that shit. So, massive floods in Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico was hit and devastated by Irma. Puerto Rico, even before Irma, was the last time when Donald Trump was president. Puerto Rico, even before that, already had a crippling infrastructure. It's been absolutely sacked and robbed for a century. Okay, and I mean that's how you know, like, if you ask Americans, they don't even realize that Puerto Ricans are American citizens. For example, that's what happens when you don't have any representation whatsoever. So you're in this limbo. Basically a colony still. But when you are in a dire situation and your infrastructure cannot handle any sort of climate change, even before the climate change, your infrastructure is already in a horrible situation. Okay, this is what happens.
This morning,
currently, the island does not have any power, from what I understand. And here it is.
The governor of Puerto Rico describes the damage from Hurricane Fiona as catastrophic, with more than 18 hours of torrential rain.
80 to 100-mile winds, a metal bridge breaking.
Rushing water washing away this bridge. Watch as power poles and a guardrail connected to the bridge are ripped from the ground. The water pulling everything connected to the structure downstream. Police say the National Guard installed the bridge after Hurricane Maria slammed Puerto Rico in 2017, killing nearly 3,000 people and leaving millions without food and basic needs. The storm response then was widely criticized. Months later, 1,000 pallets of water bottles sent by FEMA for storm victims was found undelivered, left sitting in the sun at this former naval base, leaving...
Remember in 2017, this is what happened. The famous Trump, like, you know, basketball fucking free throw shooting. Basketball free throw shooting the fucking toilet paper at the Puerto Rican people.
People asking, will the response to this storm be any better?
Still so fresh in everyone's minds here. It's got to be, you know, another punch.
But that's why people are very responsive and they cooperate, because they remember. They still remember Maria.
Fiona is expected to dump up to 2 feet of rain, triggering widespread flooding and mudslides. High winds ripping the roof off this building, tearing it to shreds. This man says he was sleeping when the winds tore the roof off his house. The company operating Puerto Rico's fragile power grid says the 85-mile-per-hour winds disrupted transmission lines, leaving 1.5 million customers without electricity.
What is your biggest concern right now for Puerto Rico?
I don't want any loss of life here. Once that's taken care of, then restoring the electric service.
Puerto Rico's governor says fully restoring power could take several days.
Hi everyone, George.
God damn it, it's so fucking loud, dude. Holy shit. Here's some more recent coverage.
Hurricane Fiona roared ashore, dumping as much as 25 inches of rain, driving up winds to 91 miles per hour, all along Puerto Rico's southern coast. There were moments like this, neighbors with a boat, some rope, and a desperate will to save a family trapped in high water. There has been catastrophic flooding and mudslides, down trees and power lines. Brown floodwater flowed in all directions, seemingly swallowing everything in its path. In Utuado, in the center of the island, this new metal bridge, built just 4 years ago after Hurricane Maria, was swept away like a twig. Nearly the entire island is in the dark. Some 1.3 million people are still without power. Almost 840,000 have no running water.
We got in a helicopter and we first flew over Toa Baja. You could see people standing on cars and on the second story of their homes. And then we headed all the way west to the municipality of Añasco.
That's where, above the water and out of danger, Norma Rivera grew up and is determined to stay.
People say climate change isn't real. Yeah, it's not to rich people. It's not the people in fucking mainland parts of the United States, which do suffer from anthropogenic climate change's worst consequences, but get significantly better and more adequate help from the federal government. The richer you are, the less impacted you are by some of the most immediate consequences of climate change. The poorer you are, and Puerto Rico is a perfect example of this, the harder it is for you to deal with it. You know? And here it is. A recurring reminder about who's behind Puerto Rico's energy privatization, FOMBPR. A matter of life and death thanks to the corrupt U.S. Congress and donors, plus the Obama-Biden administration, not just about paper towels. 3 months before Hurricane Maria, they privatized Puerto Rico's power, and there's a Wall Street Journal opinion piece on it. It would reduce the cost of living and spur economic growth. They were appointed by President Obama based on the recommendations by the Democrat and Republican congressional leadership. The board, FOMBPR, rejected the Puerto Rico Electric Power Authority's request to move forward with a restructuring support agreement with its creditors. The board concluded that lowering the price of electricity and spurring economic growth depended on reforming PREPA's operations, not merely reconstructing its credit. The board, FOMBPR, concluded that lowering the price of electricity and spurring economic growth depended on reforming it. Why can't I? Lowering the price of electricity and spurring economic growth depended on reforming PREPA's operations, not merely restructuring its credit. Yeah, and from what I understand, and there, okay, wait, hold on. There's someone in the chat that is also repeating this. Where is it? Where the fuck was it? I just saw it.
For tax purposes.
Tax evaders left Puerto Rico to their original homes to avoid Hurricane Fiona.
A lot of my friends who are down here as well for tax purposes, they bounced. They're back at their second homes. They're gone.
And that right there, ladies and gentlemen, is my problem. This is a topic I've been very quiet about for a long time, but this video was the confirmation.
Oh, yeah, here. I'm a meteorologist. The worst part of this is that it's not even a particularly strong hurricane. They're not even prepared for a typical hurricane, let alone a supercharged one from climate change.
I needed to hear. Folks will come here to live in Puerto Rico.
Yeah, Puerto Rico is treated like a fucking, tourism destination by so many Americans.
Live la vida loca and live for their wallet's best interest. In times like these, right now, during a hurricane, they leave. And then they wonder why a lot of people give them shit for it. Because they are living here for their own benefit. And when times are not beneficial to them, they fly like a flock of pigeons. I live here. I love here. Because I am here. Everybody wants to live in Puerto Rico until it's time to live in Puerto Rico. For those who are living here with tax purposes and you took a quick flight back home, don't get mad when you hear, go home. Stay home.
A lot of my friends who are
Puerto Rico has a 3 million population. At what point do you abandon the island and move them to the U.S.? Seems like such a small number of people to absorb. I mean, dude, there's plenty of people who don't want to leave, though. That's another thing. Like, you can't just relocate every Puerto Rican person and fucking forcibly put them in, like, Florida. You know what I mean? That's their home. Even if you had enough money. They protested the private energy company that hiked prices 7 times. Remember, affordable prices. People in Puerto Rico taking to the streets again to protest against the company that the U.S. government imposed over Puerto Rico to privatize electricity. Not only they have power outages increased significantly, but customers have seen 7 price hikes since 2021. This happened a couple months back. fucking awesome, dude. And also, the entire power grid is in a fucking state of disrepair. It's great. It's fire. It's so sick. But it doesn't matter because rich people can just fucking fly away. Anyway. Yeah, the price hikes came after they promised, including the governor, that there would not be any price hikes. The entire purpose of the privatization was supposed to be literally to have no price hikes. I am looking into mutual aid funds to help out. I might do a fundraiser. I'm gonna look into it. I'm looking into it already, rather. Okay. So you know, hopefully we'll be able to put something together for the people of Puerto Rico. All right. Anyway, yeah. Hi, I'm from Puerto Rico. Please, if anyone wants to donate food, clothes, essentials, do not donate to the government or the Red Cross. They don't give it to our people. Yeah, Red Cross is not good for this, from what I understand. Yeah, please, if you fundraise, avoid giving it to the government. Yes. Okay. Anyway, here, this is more footage from Puerto Rico.
Lourdes, who also rode out the storm here, says her community was just starting to recover from Hurricane Maria back in 2017.
They worked so hard for their things and now they're losing it again.
You know, tomorrow marks 5 years that Hurricane Maria ravaged the island of Puerto Rico, and that cut power to people for months. And now, because of Fiona, most Puerto Ricans are going to wake up tomorrow morning and be without power yet again. Nora.
David Begnaud, thank you for your steadfast.
That's crazy. Here's an overview. That's bananas, dude. I mean, look at how fucked up this shit is. Bro, Puerto Rico, not dissimilar to some of the poorer parts of NOLA. Okay? You go to New Orleans, and you still see the devastating impact of Hurricane Katrina. You have fucking houses that are still not repaired from Hurricane fucking Katrina, bro. Okay? To this day. To this day. And the same shit is happening in Puerto Rico as well. There's still places that just have not been repaired since Maria. How insane is that? I mean, it's almost been 20 years since fucking Katrina happened, man. But of course, because these are some of the poorest people, it just doesn't matter. You know?
Moscow.
Fucking insane, man. Anyway, like I said, I'll be looking at charities to work with. Okay. And definitely not Red Cross nor the government. Do not worry. Okay, I know. And we'll figure something out.